have to admit and say, even though I didn't, I did not see it this way, I have to admit and say that I have to have an extraordinary appreciation, number one, to Allah. So one of my favorite times of the year is Ramadan. And it's been in the spring, I think, the past couple of years. During Ramadan, you're supposed to really, I do at least, I put in a big request each year with Allah. Something that I want to see come to fruition, like a big request, not just a regular prayer like, I'm fasting this year for X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm fasting for. And sincerely, I think it has a lot to do with my mindset. I never fathomed, like, the reality of, like, getting convicted for a crime I didn't commit has never been something I've ever fathomed, ever in my life. Did I ever feel like that would be something that would, an experience that I would attract? But I understand that these things happen all the time. We get lied on all the time. We go down, we receive repercussions for made up, fabricated stories all the time. The people who lie get away with it every day, all the time. The judicial system fails us all the time. Law enforcement, corrupt politicians, judges, lawyers are in cahoots all the time. Dirty feds, dirty lawyers, convict people, do horrible things to people, and they get away with it all the time. And I know this is all the time, not because that's really my world, but the perpetuators would not feel so comfortable and confident doing such outlandish things and making up such big lies if it was not something that they had done before. And not once or twice before, I believe, like, habitually. Like, I believe, like, this is their livelihood. This is how comfortable they felt. They didn't even think it through. Like, yeah, they just believe us. And none but the grace of my Creator allowed for the truth to get exposed. None but the grace. None but the divinity. None but prayer, obedience, worship, and faith. Because very well, very, 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 very well, lies could have gotten told on my name and no justice would have occurred. People would have literally gotten away with murder. Literally. There's much to be grateful for. Much to be grateful for. I could like kind of hear intuitively somebody who I look up to, like, I just don't want her to get bitter by this experience. I want her to be wiser but not bitter by this experience. You know, use this as a learning, a major learning, a major lesson in your life. To the point where other people are learning lessons from my from my experience, you know. How comfortable people feel just like you got one life to live, and like how comfortable people feel like just like taking your life away, like trying to like take your life away, trying to like take your dreams away. And it's like it's your life and you got one life to live, and people feel so like they don't even think twice about like trying to like take your life away. Like your whole life could be just taken away by someone's lack of integrity. I prayed for this. I fasted for this. Sincerely. This is what I fasted for last Ramadan. That all the truth. I don't want to get too spiritual. But Angel Jibril, from what I understand, is the angel of messaging. You can very well assign Angel Jibril to your case and just say, look, may all things that are being covered be revealed in regards, just be specific, in regards to X, Y, and Z. They lie. Same on social media all day. I think IG specifically has like, you can look into your account. It says the exact amount of minutes that you're on per day. I think they track that. It says the exact amount of minutes that you're on per day. Optics. It's all about optics. It's not about truth, it's about optics. And that's one thing you have to realize. It's not a matter of what is true, it's a matter of what people will believe. Celibacy isn't for everyone. But what I will say is that in the three faiths of Abraham, the three monotheistic faiths, it does tell people not to have sex until marriage. I haven't read the Torah, but I believe the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran, the three faiths of Abraham, three monotheistic faiths, all recommend, God recommends, don't have sex until marriage. I don't want to make it too personal, but I feel like it's a good recommendation based off of my life, because think about it. All right. A man wants to profit off of your vagina. In his mind, he wants to make money off of your sexual organ. Wants to profit off of your vagina. Well, how would that man know that your vagina is a profitable vagina? How? So, in the Quran it says, do not have intercourse until marriage. Bible, the religion says, don't have intercourse until marriage. People are like, it's not really realistic. It may not be realistic in this society, but when you hear professional athletes talk about their routine, it's like, you guys work out a lot. You guys sacrifice a lot. To expect somebody to have that level of commitment and to expect somebody to have that level of discipline for their craft is not realistic. But this is the reason why they're multimillionaires and they get paid the big bucks, because they're willing to do what other people aren't willing to do. So I apply that same logic, and I'm not trying to be preachy or holier than thou, because God knows I've made my mistakes and I continue to do so. But I apply that same kind of logic to spiritual victory. We talk about career victory, career success, and really it's all intertwined. It's all the same. But are you willing to do what most people are not willing to do in order to achieve success? You know most people are out there having premarital sex. Are you willing to do what most people don't do for spiritual success? For the favor of the Most High? Who asks you to do things that are very, very challenging, but asks you to do these things for your own personal willpower, your own personal discipline, your own personal perseverance. Because the thing is, everybody respects the people who are willing to do what's very unrealistic for the sake of their ambitions, their pursuits, their career, their business. What? You wake up at what? 4 o'clock in the morning? You go for a 5-mile run before you even start your day that early? That's very unrealistic. What, you work out how many hours a day? The average person is not doing that. That's very unrealistic. Wait, you started this business with what? You didn't sleep for a whole what? Most people can't do that. That's very unrealistic. In our contemporary society, the idea of celibacy is very unrealistic, or abstinence is very unrealistic. We live in a very lustful, sexually explicit society, culture. The reward of that, the benefit of sexual discipline, is beyond words. It's unrealistic, but if you make it a reality. So I introduced this into the conversation to say, there has to be an element of personal responsibility. about being fruitful and multiplying. I love those babies. You guys, like, if you know me, you know that babies are a weakness. They're my weakness. A little baby, a little one, 6 and below, with their little cuteness, I can't. They're my kryptonite. I feel my loins. Like, I love babies. But a man who wants to start a family, who realizes that he doesn't have the stability in order to be able to supply them the lifestyle that he wants to supply them, that takes a certain level of discipline. Children are very expensive. So when he's able to travel the world, able to go overseas, and he has extra money that he's able to do things with, it's because he did decide that he may want to start a little bit later for a family, or a woman for that matter. And that's just being real. So when I talk about, my finances or any financial situation or whatever, just from the very practical thing of it all, I had a child out of wedlock. Had I followed the Quran, which told me not to have premarital sex, I would have not had a child out of wedlock. I was a single mom. I didn't get child support. Unfortunately, that left me in over a decade of extraordinary financial deprivation, in addition to not working a job that was going to be able to adequately, provide for me and my child. Either way, I'm making this more personal than it needs to be, but I'm using this as a lesson to teach you that your decisions do land you in certain circumstances. So when you find yourself as a single mom who is trying to be preyed on by a bunch of men, affluent men, who want to profit off of her vagina, it's kind of one of those things where you wouldn't even be in this situation had you not be a single mom. You have to take personal responsibility for certain things. Like, you understand in the world that you're living in, you're going to meet people who are morally depleted. They don't care if you're a mom. They don't care if you're a single mom. They just don't care. You're trying to appeal to the hearts of people who have no hearts. They're heartless. So, with that being said, of course, they will have to reap the karmic effects of the decisions that they make. Period. There's no, but you got to reap the karmic effects of the decisions that you make too. I would have loved to have more children, but it was not practical for me. It was not logical for me financially to have 4 more children, 3 more children, many more children, when the provision of the first one offered such a challenge. Now, second reason why I advocate abstinence or celibacy is sometimes it doesn't take you being out there or being promiscuous. It may just take one person that you have a relationship with. It could be your boyfriend, it could be your man, it could be your whatever. And he goes and runs his mouth and tells his friends, his social circle, about how pleasurable the intimate experience that you both had was. You didn't open your legs to the entire block or to the entire community. You opened your legs to one man. One man. One man who was not trustworthy, who ran his mouth to every Tom, Dick, and Harry about the details of your intimate experience. And their eyes lit up and they said, yeah, that sounds right. I want some. So now the psychotic is over here trying to sabotage your income, sabotage your dreams, sabotage your ambitions, all because they want to profit off of you. They want to exploit you. These things happen every day. You can blame them. Of course, they will deal with the karma that they've incurred for the decisions that they make. But you also have to take personal responsibility. Had you followed that Bible, had you followed that Quran, had you followed that Torah, had you followed that pastor, that rabbi, that imam who told you, do not open your legs until you are married, you would not be in this predicament. You wouldn't be poor. You wouldn't have a bunch of gang stalkers trying to stalk you, trying to pimp you, trying to sabotage your dreams, trying to sabotage your life, trying to get you fired from jobs. You wouldn't be had you just followed the word. You can't do nothing for the Creator. He does everything for you. He's not telling you this for him. He's telling you this for you. So you avoid these type of circumstances. He knows how he made people. He knows the level of deviances that people are capable of. He knows that people are corruptible. He knows that people can be bought. He knows that people can be wicked. He knows that people can use people. He knows that he made you. He made mankind. He said, keep your legs closed until you're married for a reason. Anyways, when we talk about purging the victim mindset, I have an LLC or whatever. So I did work very, very hard for a very, very, very long time. Very many jobs and long hours. And what I would have categorized myself as a workaholic. Worked very hard. Very, 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 very hard. But I decided one day that I wanted to start my own business. And I went ahead and I bought an LLC, and I decided that I wanted to do a health and wellness brand. And this has much to do with one's self-esteem, because you can very easily be conditioned to think that you're incapable of making a living for yourself. And it has a lot to do with mental programming. When you've lived a duration of your life punching the clock for somebody else, you think that the only way to be able to earn a living is by punching the clock for somebody else. Now, when it comes to defamation of character, it's a thing. I've said this before. If I ruin your professional and social reputation, where now not only am I damaging the jobs that you're applying for as a worker bee or as an employee. Let me not say worker bee, I'm not trying to be condescending. But damaging your opportunities as an employee, where somebody's like, I don't know if I really want somebody. Let's say, for example, I say that you do drugs, which is a lie that has come against me. I don't do any drugs. Let's say that I do that. If I have a corporation, do I necessarily want to hire a drug addict? Let's say I make up a lie and say someone's a prostitute. If I am a man who's a traditional man who's looking for a wife and a partner, who's like, please, I don't let my woman pay the bills. I don't let my woman buy groceries. I'm a traditional man. But people ruin someone's social reputation, and that traditional man who might be interested in that woman, like, she's a prostitute, that she can be bought. No, I'm good. No, thank you. So the result of that is not going to be like, the result of that is that those people who lied for a very specific purpose, a very specific reason, will have to pay for that. And they will have to pay for that because it had adverse effects on that person's ability to be able to adequately provide for themselves and for their child. And that was the whole purpose of lying on that person, to prevent them from being able to adequately provide for themselves and for their child, for the purpose of exploiting them. So anyone who played a part in that will also have to pay for that. And that's just how that goes. Again, I started this conversation with extraordinary gratitude. I could talk for a minute about this because I have a lot to say about this conversation, a lot to say. But I'm only home for lunch right now. I got a couple things that I have to do. But I have a lot that I could say. I could speak a lot more about this. But I started the conversation with gratitude. I'm going to end the conversation with gratitude because the lies that came against me, there was a high probability with the people who were telling these lies that a woman like me, like we are always the ones who are discredited. We are always the ones who are made to believe like we are the villain. We're always the ones who, it's always us that nobody believes. It's always us that the optics are manipulated. It's always us that nobody even bothers to do the research, you know, and get the facts and get the proof or whatever. But I just gotta say, like, I can't speak enough, and I'm not getting, like, I don't even rock with you guys like that. Like, I'm a loner. Like I'm not really like looking for social approval or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying this for you guys to even, I don't care if you feel like I'm a good person or not. That's up to you. I'm saying this because I promise you, you put your faith in Allah, you put your faith in the Creator, I promise you, things that are unrealistic will become possible. I promise you. And so I put, you know, I'm not going to say exactly what I'm going to fast for Ramadan or whatever, but number one, I've said, is my music as an entertainer, number one. But number two is my health and wellness brand. And I don't have a myopic perspective about it. When I say my ideas are crazy, I could give a person a crumb and you could become, it could be lucrative to you. That's why the other people in the field, I don't even look at as my competitors. I can help you. Like, it's like, the ideas are just like, And so this is also to say with our Creator that whatever is taken from you is also you're rewarded with. When you got a gold mine and you've got all these things going for you, that's privilege. That's privilege. Whatever they try to take from you will be restored to you 10, 20, 15, 50, 100 fold. A lot of times it's like, oh, look at the hate that this person is getting. But that's also like, look at the love that this person is getting, because understand that every slight, every bit of hatred, every wound that they try to put, everything will all be restored to you, returned to you. The hate, the amount of hate will be the amount of love. As above, so below, right? That's the law of what? Give and take, or reciprocity. The depth of the hate, the depth of the wickedness, the depth of the plan, of the intricacies, of the violations, of the, will be the death probably, because favor's not even fair. The Most High is not even gonna reward you in the same measurement that you were slighted. It's gonna be even more. It's gonna be so much love. It's gonna be like, You're going to forget about the hate. You're not even going to remember the hate. It probably always be hate, but you won't even pay attention. It's like, it's so much hate. Look at all the hate. Look at all the hate. Oh, look at all the haters. Look what the haters do. Look at the lovers. Look at the love. It's so much love. It's so many ideas. It's so much wisdom. There's so much intellect in this room. There's so much brain power in this room. There's so many high-level conversations in this room. There's so much light up in this room. There's so much realness, honesty, purity in this room. Dreams up in this room. Stars in this room. And guess what? The haters don't get to come. So take it. Take the hatred for now. It was absolutely a prerequisite to the class of life. You just took a prerequisite. You just took a lesson. You had a lesson. You took the prereq for what was to come. You picked up gems for what it is that you needed to learn for the next stage. To me, that's preparation. We all talk about ascending, arise. Well, what is it? What is the components of it? What is it composed of? You're building and you're not even aware of the tactics and the plans and the schemes and the lies and the deception of your enemy. I don't know if you're ready to build if you're not aware of that. Guys, it's a gold mine up in here. I have no doubts. I have no fear. I have no worries. Anyone that's interacting, it's a blessing. The stuff that's going on up in here, guys. But this journey of hatred, of wickedness, was really a filtration process, guys. I got to filter out who was worthy of sharing this grace with. Who was going to have a seat at the table for the fine dining plant-based spread that I cooked up, and it is delectable. There's no cold food on the table. Everyone wants a bite. And I'm not trying to sound conceited, arrogant, or cocky. I don't see, and I got names in my mind, I don't see you guys as competitors with the health and wellness thing. I don't see it. There's too much work to do. Just here domestically, we're not even talking about internationally. There's just too much work to do. We can't be fighting each other. We got too much work to do. There's too many people that need the lifestyle. Too many children, too many babies. There's too many categories of the lifestyle. And it's all up here, my people. It is all up here. When I say much love, I got love for you. I got love for the lovers. I got love for you. Definitely got love for you. Love just radiates through me. I feel like very much in love with what's coming and what's next and the possibilities of life. And I feel extraordinary gratitude that my Creator has allowed me to earn wisdom, to become more intelligent, to get a crash course in the real world, but allowed for the future that's been carved for me to be experienced by me without these hateful people who tried to take that away from me. This whole story could have been written. The conclusion is not done yet, but this chapter could have gone very differently. Would I tell you the lies that have been told and the lies that continue to be told about me to this day? To this day. on my life, on my son, to this day, the lies that are told about me constantly and continuously. If it was not for Allah and Allah sending the angel Jibril, the angel of revelation, to reveal every single lie that's been told about me, the future that was designed and the gems that were aligned in my path for me to inherit would have never come to pass. And that was the plan. With these crooks and with these rogues, none but the grace of Allah, none but the grace of my God, that every single lie that gets told, it gets revealed. None but the grace, because you got people sitting behind bars right now. You got people sitting 6 feet under right now because of lies that were told on their name. Things could have been done things could have happened very differently. Very, very, very differently. But because of my Creator, every lie on my name gets revealed, gets exposed, and all the liars get exposed. And they receive a severe punishment. I'm not even going to get too much into detail about it, but they've received a very severe. The consequences are not too severe, just severe enough. Just severe enough, in my opinion. But I gotta pray to be not so vengeful. It's very severe. It's very, 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 very severe. So none but the grace of God, So there's a benefit in your overall life in being in alignment with the divine. It's not a matter of the sacrifice. The sacrifice is too much. Celibacy, what? Don't drink, don't smoke, what? Don't pop pills, what? Stop gossiping, what? For some of you, that seems like it's impossible work, but I promise you, it is for your greatest good, your self-betterment. Things will unfold. Things will happen to you. It'll be miraculous. When you've got forces that come against you and they have nothing to do but to tell the truth about every single lie that they told, that's divine favor. And you earn that divine favor by obedience and by adherence. Much love, guys. Love you.